I'm at 7136 Bestview Terrace in Anderson Township, Cincinnati, Ohio. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. The access point is the rear center basement stack, or possibly rear left. It's in the laundry room. It's a cast iron stack, and based off the age of the home, I expect there to be cast iron under the floor. You can see here's the stack, there is the access. But again, I expect there to be cast iron under the floor until it exits the house, and then most likely we'll switch over to clay. Cast iron is normal for this age of home, but it does have some, the biggest thing is just that it does have, sorry, somebody started to run some water upstairs, but it does rust, and so it's hard to tell how much life is left in the pipe, just how thin or thick the pipe walls are. Obviously we don't have x-ray on the front of these cameras. Now this little bit of water there is normal. At the base of the stack is just a little bit, somebody just ran a little bit of water on accident. But also with cast iron, I like to make sure that I tell people that it is also very, it's more prone to soft clogs, as they call it, basically excess toilet paper, wet wipes, paper towels, those kind of things should not be used. The wet wipes and the paper towels should not be used. Obviously toilet paper is fine, it's just that there's more prone to build up in a cast iron line just because of the rust. The lines are a little rougher, and so because of that, you tend to catch that stuff easier. And so with especially with the wet wipes, they don't break down like toilet paper does when they get wet, and so they can cause clogs a lot easier, because if a piece of toilet paper gets caught, chances are you get enough water on it and then it'll just disintegrate like it's designed to do, and then you won't have that issue. You can see all the white coating, that is just grease. Everything in the house is coming down this single stack, and so the stuff from the kitchen sink, food and stuff like that, that even if you're not flushing a lot of grease, straight down, just normal usage from food and stuff like that. And then also liquid fabric softener also has like an oil base that can kind of do the same thing. So you can kind of see the little bit of channeling on the bottom. That's also normal for cast iron. Kind of wears away and stuff kind of builds up on the side a little bit. Causes a channel down the center where the water flows directly. And so like we mentioned earlier, now we've exited the house and switched over to clay. Clay is a good material. They've been using it for at least 100 years as far as sewer lines are concerned. And in this case, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you can see the angle that the line is taking. It shows how the camera is sitting at a 20-degree angle, so this has a good amount of drop to it, which is good. And wow, so we have already made it to the main, which is pretty good. It wasn't far out of the house. So what may be, because this is in a cul-de-sac, there may actually be a line out to the side. Instead of it going all the way out into the street, there may be a sewer line that runs through the side yard, and that's why it was such a short distance between the outside of the house and where it ties in here. But what I'm going to do to verify that is I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to go outside, and we're going to locate exactly where that is. And that is probably why the The line was at a 20-degree angle when it left the house. It's a lot of drop quickly. The minimum allowable was only 1%, so that's a pretty good drop off, and so it just shows that the house must be pretty close to the main, and they had to get deep in a hurry. So what I'm going to do again, I'm going to pause the video. We're going to go check to see whether this comes in the side, or whether the main goes down the side of the house, or where it ties in, and then we'll make note of it when I come back in. Okay, so the line actually goes through the house, and if you're facing the house, it comes out the rear right corner, right where that walkout is on the side of the house. That's where the line comes out, and the sewer main runs down, comes out of the cul-de-sac and runs down in between the two houses. And so this just goes out the right side of the house and dumps into the main right there. And so the good thing is it's a very short distance to have to maintenance, and in most cases, because it is so close to the main, most of this line would be covered by the Metropolitan Sewer District if anything was ever to happen. So it's very good news, and the line is in great shape. So you can see it was only about 15 feet of pipe before it went into the main, and then the cast iron is in the house. And so the cast iron, we'll go back, we'll take another look at it, but the cast iron is fully functional. No, I didn't see any structural issues or anything. Like I said, it does have that, the channeling, and cast iron is more susceptible to like regular clogs, stuff that may not clog up the toilet but would come close. It is more susceptible to those things. So as long as you only use toilet paper and natural materials, as long as you're not putting whole rolls in, your line should be fully functional and not cause any issues. Structurally, the line is in great shape and there are no defects. See the channeling as the water snakes its way through. And so there was no root intrusion, not even really any low spots, with the exception of right at the base of the stack here where I am actually now. You can see by the lower left hand corner and see that the camera is hanging straight up and down, and that's why all the water's right on top of the running down to the camera lens. So we are right here at the edge. I'm going to try to see if I can get a little bit of this off of my camera here. But the line looked great. For its age, everything was functional, and nothing structurally wrong with the line. Everything is fully functional. Just have a few of those maintenance items that you want to make sure make sure that the line is treated well, as far as not putting anything strange in the line and not using anything other than what the line is designed to carry. So, like I mentioned before, no wet wipes, no paper towels, no female products. And in that case, the line is fully functional and should function normally and great for the future. There's really nothing to mention at all about functionality. The line looked great. And so that'll end the inspection. It's 7136 Bestview Terrace in Anderson Township, Cincinnati, Ohio.